Okay, so until yesterday or the previous class, we learnt about the promotional tools, right? So we had learned to revise everything. We learnt about the marketing mix or in retailing. So you have four P's of marketing mix in retailing. Out of them, promotion was one of the primary one. Apart from promotion, you have price, you have product, under product you have a lot of logistics being involved. Then you have place where we do the business. So price, product, place, promotion, these were the four major promotional tools, or sorry, four major marketing mix tools that we were utilizing. Now, apart from that, we learned promotional four major promotional tools also. So, promotion without publicizing or giving advertisements, products will not be able to be sold anywhere. So, after that, now we are coming to another important part of the chapter, that is human resource management. Now, every part of retailing or every store for that matter will have an employee. Okay, employer is the person who will give the job, and employee is the person who will do the job. Okay, so that human resource or the people who is required to be working in any company. Now if we are talking about retailing, it is not only it's not that we are only talking about these small shops like textile shop or uh, let's take for example provision store. It's not only these stores. When you're talking about retailing, you will be talking about big retail stores also. Okay, so that is also included, something like DMart, Big Bazaar, Star Bazaar, okay, Star Market, Hypermarket, then Brand Factory, all these are also into retailing. Now when these retailing, suppose take for example DMart. Now DMart has so many of staff working inside. Okay, they're working in DMart. Few of them will be taking care of filling up the stock, filling up the products which are over. Few of them will be in the billing section, few will be taking care in the back end processes, few employees will be in the go down checking how much stock is come, how much stock is gone, because every time they have to make sure that the customers get the product completely. So customers should not go back saying okay, this product is not available. So that is why human resource, okay, live out management, but human resource is very important. Now if we are not considered as human resource, then none of us will be given a job. Now even for you people, once you complete your degree or once you complete your undergraduation, immediately everybody wants to enter into the job. So if the companies don't consider you as a human resource, then in that case you will not be able to, or you will not be considered as a employee at all. So human resource is very important, and in this part of the chapter we are specially concentrating on how they are going to manage human resource or their employees in the retailing sector. Now retailing sector, what we see through eyes or in front of us is very small, but actual back end process or the work involved in retailing is very big. Okay, so for that reason let us understand one by one slowly. Okay, so first, HRM. What is human resource management? Human resource management is the organizational function that deals with issues relating to people, such as compensation. Compensation is nothing but salary. Always understand, whenever you see compensation, it is nothing but salary. Now compensation, why is it called compensation? Because they are giving their time, effort and skill. They are putting their brains into the work. They are also putting their effort. They are also giving their time. From morning till evening or night they work, so their time is also put into the work. So since they are giving so much for the organization, we also will give them a compensation in the form of money. So that is called as, that is why it is known as a compensation. Then hiring. Hiring is nothing but you are or it's just a procedure of putting the employee onto the job. Okay, hiring is that now you go to a company, they see your skill set and everything, and they will put you onto the right place where you can work. So that is called as hiring. Then performance management. Now performance management is certain task will not require too much of your energy. Now since you know, let's take for example, now you have already written a test, 2 3 tests of your statistics. Now once you have learned them thoroughly, next time when you're reading you need not put too much effort into it. Okay, but you will be able to perform better since you have already learned it or you have studied it thoroughly. So few places you will have to put more effort because you do not know the subject or you do not know how to do it, but many places where you know what is to be done, you will put very less effort. Okay, so that is performance management. Then safety and security in the job is what will make employees to stay in the company. Okay, if it is if there is no safety in the job, okay, to we do not know today who is our employer or who is our superior. Tomorrow somebody else superior will come suddenly, and the day after again they will change the superior, so you do not know whom to listen to. There's a lot of confusion that is happening. Okay, and you feel there is no safety. Okay, you feel there is no safety for the job you are actually conducting. So that is the safety part. Just hold on. Okay, so we were learning, one second. So we were learning about the points in the HRM. Now after performance management safety, then will come the benefits. Now in benefits, what will happen? Apart from the salary, one person can be performing very well. He or she will be giving extra to the organization. They will volunteer to go and help few other employees or few other projects. All these are part of the benefits. So seeing their work, many of them or the organization will give them certain gift coupons or gift vouchers, or they will say we appreciate your work, so we are giving you employee of the month, employee of the year awards. Okay, all these awards or the names, it will encourage the employees to perform better, and they will also get very very motivated. So that is also benefits. Now benefits can be monetary, non-monetary. Monetary means where the money is useful. Non-monetary is like giving vouchers or sending a family on a holiday trip. Okay, all that are other non-monetary benefits. Then employees motivation. Every employee will get demotivated after certain period of time. Okay, so what happens is he or she will keep working in the same job over and again, so they are all bored about how the job is going on, or how they are supposed to work. Okay, so in that case they don't feel or they don't get interest to work anymore. So companies should do certain programs, or the teams together has to come up with certain programs which will motivate all the employees. So if you're all motivated, you work very very efficiently rather than just. Okay, so you have to motivate more of employees rather than just leaving them wherever they have to work. Students, kindly mute your devices. Okay, going on further is the communication. Now, any communication that is any communication that is supposed to be done to the employees can be done through one platform of messaging. Now since you have all your social platforms of WhatsApp is there for business also. You have WhatsApp for many other purpose, and you have many other apps where you can use that for business. So In all this case, you will have to make sure you use the right app. You will be using the right app to communicate to the employees. If not, the best way to communicate to the employees is by circulars. Now, by giving sending circulars, like how you get circulars to the classrooms, how you were getting circulars to the classrooms, like if there is payment of fees or if there is a holiday circular, how it has been done, all that can be also done through online now. So technology can be utilized everywhere. Okay, so communication is a very important point here under HRM. If we don't communicate to the employee that his salary is so much or his work has to be done like this, if at all he does any mistake, later we cannot ask. So first we have to explain him everything and then expect him to work better. Then administration. Administration is done by the HR department. They will maintain the records of the human resource or the employees present in the organization. They will make sure they are paid salary on time. They will also make sure that this human resource or this person is a real asset to the company. When will you become a real asset to the company? When you actually work hard, when you work smart, and try to give extra to the organization. When you actually put in your 100% into your work, then only you become an asset to the organization. Once you become an asset to the organization, nobody in the organization would like you to leave them. Okay, they will say please work here. If at all you want to change companies also, they will give you an offer or they will increase your salary or they will give you whatever you ask, and make sure you are present in the organization. So whenever you're working anywhere in any company, you give your 100% so that you are very, very efficient and people have to look up to you. Okay, that's also a learning lesson here. Then you have training. Now, training, there are many varieties of training. We will be learning few of them in this chapter. Okay, so training is how every organization will have a different kind of system that will be doing. Now, leave going to organization, let's take different colleges. Different colleges will have different type of timetable, different way of classes being arranged, and different approach towards many things. Okay, so there, when one person joins or one person is recruited into the college, maybe you people come as students, but we as lecturers, if we are working in one of the college, we will be first informed about how the work has to be done or how the department or the teachers work here. Okay, we will have certain rules, guidelines which will be given, which we have to follow. Similarly, in the organization also. Now, say suppose let's take for example Star Bazaar. Okay, Star Bazaar, you will have employees in the billing, in the cash section. You'll have a different employee. Inside there'll be a different people. There'll be a manager. Now, all of these people will be trained. Apart from that, you see McDonald's, you have Burger Kings, then you have Pizza Hut, you have Domino's. Now they hire so many employees in Domino's and Pizza Hut on part-time basis and full-time basis. Now they has to be trained, all of these employees have to be trained to prepare pizza, right? So that training is very, very important, and this training differs from one organization to another organization. So that is a very, very vast definition of human resource management. Now I've almost completed, or I've almost touched all the part of human resource management here. So let's quickly go through the other set of points also. Okay, but before that, did you understand the first point or the definition of HRM? Okay. Next, HRM is a strategic and comprehensive approach to managing people at workplace. It's a role in company success is growing rapidly in growth of many sectors in the present globalized era. Before, people or these employees, no, it's I will just wrap up it into a small story kind of a thing. Now, before, what used to happen is people used to get into the factory, uh, and at those time let's say before independence, okay, at those times they were only working in the manufacturing sector, okay, majorly manufacturing sector people were getting into, but you had many farmers also who were present. So you had farmers who was working in the field. Now because of that only we were getting good revenue. Apart from this, many people were working in manufacturing industries. In manufacturing industries, what will happen, they were working as shop floor employees. Shop floor employees means these people will directly work with the machinery. Okay, if there is a molding machine, or if there is a pressing machine, so they'll be working directly with the machinery, which means, okay, which means that they are there is a lot of risk for them. Maybe they might cut their fingers, they might cut their hand, or there are a lot of risk factor involved. And at those times the employers or the owners, okay, owners never bothered about their employers. Okay, they just wanted the production to be done, and they wanted to sell the product to get profit. And these people, these employees, shop floor employees, were paid very very less salary. Later, slowly, what happened, people realized that now why are we risking our lives so much for such small amount of money. And slowly they came together and started forming unions. Now you would have seen in lot of Indian movies where they have this union, labor union. Okay, so these labor unions came up, and they as and when the number of employees grew, they became a very very strong force to support the employees inside the company. Now after that only, slowly, by then India got this concept of human resource management or human resource, saying that these employees are very important to us. We should not harass them, but we should be giving them good facilities and make sure the environment is very good for them to work in the company. So after realizing that, now owners, uh, there are in such position that they will request these employees to come and work, and nobody can see any other person as a or degrade any other employee in the organization. So once we began with the globalized era, once we understood how big is this human resource chain and why it is very important, then after that everybody realized that human resource management is a vital role, it plays a vital role in the organization. And this human resource management practices will also include manpower staffing, performance appraisal, compensation, training and development. So just somebody you cannot get into the work, you require a skillful person to get into the work. Now let's say for example, if one teacher is teaching you about the subject, that teacher has to know, or the teacher must have studied that subject before, or the teacher should be able to explain the subject in a simple words so that everybody can understand. If that teacher is not studied the subject at all before, so a more effort is put up by the teacher, or there are chances that the student might not be able to understand the concept, so that there is also possibility of that happening here. So similarly, in any of the organization, the manpower staffing or the human resource must be selected or recruited after doing lot of rounds. So that is why it is very difficult to get job. Then, innovative HRM practices can play a crucial role in changing the attitudes of employees. Now, gone are those days where they will give you lot of questions to be asked. Okay, now everything is practical oriented. Now, if you go for a job, if you sit there, they ask you question in such a way that you should be able to apply whatever you have studied into the situation. So, something like a case study. Now, case study means they will give you a situation and they will ask you a question. So you should be in a position to answer from the information given in the situation. So these are practical oriented interviews which have been going around now, and which is also very good improvement in the hiring procedure. So this is all about HRM. Now, HRM in retailing, let us understand that. So retailing is one of the service sectors where the need of qualitative human resources highly expected. Why it is highly expected? You see a Flipkart, you see Amazon, you require people to deliver the products. Now we ourselves, when we order on any of the online website or e-commerce website, we will only say, what is this, we have not got our products till now. Okay, the delivery of Flipkart was not good, the delivery of Amazon was not good, the delivery of Snapdeal is very worst. We go out and give out our comments. Okay, there are many customers who make judgments, who give out the comments very rapidly like that. Okay, so for all of this, human resource is the only solution. Now, later on, all these companies realized all wherever they are lacking, and they recruited and improved all of their, uh, you know, uh, their logistics and human resource. Extra human resource was being added to make sure the delivery was done on time to the proper customer. So today, why all these websites are very famous in the e-commerce platform is because they are able to reach to the customer on time, and they're able to give or deliver the product properly to the customer using these delivery people, that is qualitative human resource. So if you happen to understand their hierarchy, or if you happen to understand their complex system, I really say it is very very complex, because they have too many levels of staffing which will be done. Okay, so that is the human resource management in retailing. Now that Amazon, which will pay these employees, look at the amount of employees that has been working under each of the company and each of the district, state. First you will see the state, then you will see the district, then you will have the city, then in that city you will have pin codes, you will have areas, in that roads. So everything has to be seen very very specific here. Okay, so that is a very challenging task when it comes to maintaining the human resource in retailing. Okay, so this is the first part of HRM in retailing. Now, what are the other important ways? Okay, or how do we put all this HRM into the organized retail? We will understand. So the first part is recruitment. So first we have to see how many people are required. How many people are required for me to run this complete delivery. Now since the lockdown has been eased a little, now all these e-commerce sub deliveries have been restarted. Okay, to all the zones they have restarted the e-commerce delivery, which was stopped until now. So one, all this have started now. Now, if you see, you can find so many people on their two wheelers wearing big big bags. They have a huge bag where it will hold lot and lot of delivery essentials. Okay, all that is being delivered to people now, right? So for to recruit those people, what all you should see, the firstly they'll give certain rules and regulations. They will say you should have a two wheeler. Okay, you should be able to deliver, or you should know this area very very well, because some look in corner of the area person would have ordered the product. So they will usually take that person who already knows the area, and then they will give that particular sales job or that delivery job to him. I'm taking delivery as the example because it is easy for to understand. Okay, so recruitment. Other than that delivery job, you can take newspaper people. Okay, people who give put newspapers to homes. Now they know which all houses they're going to put the newspapers. They're very very professional in such things, and their memory power is very good. Okay, so they know which house where they are supposed to put the newspapers. First floor, second floor, third floor, no matter which floor you are, they make sure the newspaper reaches you. So recruitment for the people who are talented in that case, or who can build up that talent required. See, it's not that these talents are inborn all the time. So you can always bring up a lot and lot of a talent if you utilize the time properly. Now you had so many days of holidays in the lockdown, so you can improve on your skills better. That is how you utilize the time rather than spending time on many unnecessary things. Apart from your online classes, you had enough time to build up yourself as a personality, or overall your skills, everything can be developed. So it depends on a person how they will be able to develop themselves. Then coming to the selection part. Now in recruitment only, they do lot of discussions, interviews will happen. Now after interviews, they will be selecting the candidates by on the basis of many criterias. Okay, so many sorry, this is not fake, it is some retailers take. Okay, so retailers, the retailers take entrance test followed with a group discussion. So this is the common what you can say format of an interview. First, once you get inside, they will give you, if it's a campus interview, usually they will give you one aptitude test. Now once you clear the aptitude test, going on further will be a group discussion. Okay, after group discussion, shortlisted people will be asked to come on a personal interview. Now, personal interviews can also happen on two rounds. The first round of personal interview happens, generally with the HR. A small round of interview sometimes, or sometimes many organization first will give a proper interview with the department people. Suppose they are recruiting you for a finance department, so you go and meet the finance department head or the manager or whoever the supervisor is. So you will have all the discussions and interviews there, and if that person is happy about your knowledge and everything, then the second round will be done by HR to discuss about the salary and their rules and regulations, or if you will be able to join immediately. All that they will take care of. So the common format is aptitude test, group discussion, and personal interview. Or many times it is just one round of talks, and then or two round, three rounds of talks, which will happen if you go individually. So these formats will differ from person to person. Then performance appraisal. Now performance appraisal is like increments, giving increments. Now this year you have joined a job, so next year, it once you finish 1 year of your job, you are expected to get some hike in the salary. So suppose if you have joined to the job for 20,000 rupees, you are expected to give some extra amount apart from 20,000 rupees for the next year. So that is performance appraisal in monetary terms. Okay, but why will they give that extra? That extra will be given only if you perform well in the organization. If they feel yes, this person will improve the company, this person will really help us in going further in the company, then only they will keep you in the organization and they'll give you more salary. If not, the next year they will say thank you for your work, please leave the company. And today, in today's world, please understand this, in today's world it is very very difficult to survive in one company if you are not efficient. If you are not bothered about what is happening, and if you happily uh, do time pass in the companies, nobody will give you the money. You have to work, you have to be productive, you have to understand the rules and regulations and work. If you do that, then they will uh, also help you grow, and also the organization will grow. So that is performance appraisal. Next, training and development. Now this training and development happens in many levels. First, training and development will happen when you join the company. Now that first training will make you understand what you have to do in the company, or how the company is. You will understand the company better, how you should do your work. For example, if you are working in a let's say let's say for example you're working in accounts department. Now in accounts department you have so much of job. Okay, accounts department does not mean only preparing balance sheets and profit and loss account. On a wider basis, if you take accounts department will have to make sure every rupee that goes off from the company and comes into the company has to be recorded. So they will divide the work between the employees. One employee will take care of all the raw materials coming into the company. Another employee will take care of all the finished products that is going out to the market. There will be another employee who will take care of small expenses called petty expenses. There will be one more major person or the manager who will take care of the big projects, how much money to be given. Okay, suppose they recruit you into the accounts department and they will ask you to maintain the petty expenses vouchers. Okay, so you will have to write the voucher. Now you don't know all that work. So first you will be trained, but you should know the basic of writing the voucher. Okay, so you will be trained how to write a voucher in that company. Okay, because every company will have a little difference in formats many times. So that is why they will help you in that, and you will have to go on and do the work. Then after 2 years you are given a promotion, and they will put you into the next level of maintaining raw material stock. Now raw material stock is not a easy task to maintain, because every day you will get many variety of raw material. You should understand how what raw material is coming, what is that raw material. Now let's take for example, we are working in a plastic industry. Now plastic industry means this industry prepares lot of plastic products, maybe Nilkamal. Let's take for example Nilkamal. Now Nilkamal company majorly uses plastic. Now you should understand that raw material of plastic whichever comes to you, how you should store them. You cannot put that plastic into a big oven. Once you get the raw material, you have to make sure that the plastic whichever comes has to be kept in the go down properly. So again, a training is required in the second level. So likewise, every level when you get promotion, or when you're changed from the team, or when you're changing the job, you will have to undergo a training of 1 to 3 months. Later you will be given the job as the main person. Now these points are important from the exam point of view as well as from your lesson point of view. Okay, so these are the human resource management in organized retail, the 3 points. Now later, continuing with, you have another 3 points to add. That is compensation against salary. Salary is direct way of compensation. Okay. Now directly I am saying, okay, you have worked for 1 month, I am giving you the salary. So that is compensation. The other way of compensation is motivating, giving them awards. Okay, and saying them, okay, very good, you have done a lot of work in the company. We appreciate all the work that you have done. Please take this, let's say they're giving you some shopping coupon, or they're giving you some kitchen appliances, or they're sending your family, all of you, on a trip, so you get some break from the work. Okay, all that is part of compensation. That is an indirect compensation. Then rewards, incentives, and recognition. Now rewards is, again, rewards maybe rewards is usually like awards. Okay, now rewards, when they give, no, it will have a recognition. Once they give rewards, recognition continues back to back. Now they will reward you with let's say a coupon worth 10,000 rupees, which means you need not pay any amount. You just have to enter the coupon code and you can buy the products worth 10,000 rupees. So that is a type of reward. Then incentives is usually monetary it is. So they will say, I'm giving you some three 5,000 rupees gift voucher, and I'm giving you direct in cash, so you can use that for any purpose that is required. Then recognition, awards that has been given. So usually corporate world, especially any corporate world you take, or even in the retail sector, and in the sales sector, okay, all of them will have awards. That is how they recognize the efforts of the human resource. They will give you employee of the month, employee of the week, employee of the day, employee of the year. Then they will say maximum sales done by the person. Then maximum projects being approved under this person. So they have lot and lot of recognition, which will motivate the employee. Now suppose if I come out and say to one student, wow, you are doing very good, come on, continue this work, you get motivated. Okay, you want to perform better in every other examination that is coming up. So similarly here also, to motivate the employees, you should be able to give this rewards, incentives, and recognition. Then employee discipline. Now many people, you will your lives will actually change, or the way you are will actually change once you get into the companies, because now you're not aware about what the company is expecting from you. So you are under that blind spot or the ignorant spot, where you do whatever you know, that's all. But once you enter into a company, get a job, you become a little more sorry, you become a little more responsible. Then the way you behave, the way you understand things, the way you see things from your view, and the way you treat people around you, and the way you dress, the way you look at everything will change. Okay, change in a positive manner, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is employee discipline. You have to be there on time. It's not like how you walk into many classes or colleges. Okay, if you are into the work, you have to log in at 9, you have to log in at 9. 9:1 is also late. Many times 9:1 is also marked absent. So again, when there is money involved, everybody is serious. So employee discipline plays a major role. Okay, so understood the human resource management in organized retail. Here we are talking about only organized sector. Okay, unorganized sector is a completely different picture that we will see later if possible. Any doubts in these two slides? Okay, let's quickly understand the challenges in organized retail. So, what are the challenges in actually putting these people into the retail industry? Now, recruiting the people is not a problem. You will get many people, especially in a country like India, no, where you have so much of what to say population. Okay, India and China are the two majorly populated countries, where the labor is very very cheap for other outside countries. So that is why we have a lot of people working for America, Singapore, Australia, UK, Russia. There are many other countries, Malaysia, Thailand also. So they outsource the work to India. So once they outsource the work to India, we will be able to do the work for them and send it to them. So let us see what are the challenges. Lack of skilled manpower. We have people in India, but how many of them are skilled, or how many of them have the knowledge about how to do the work? Okay, now if you see a person who stitches the footwear, okay, that is an art. Okay, that is seriously a skill. You people try to stitch the footwear, it will you will not be so professional, you will not know how to stitch that footwear. Okay, but that person who does that work, no, he's really a skilled person. So that is why governments also have recognized the skilled person, and they have put lot of small government shops around the state or around the district or city, so that they can do their small businesses also. Okay, that person is very independent. The person who stitches footwear, no, is very independent. He does his work, he sells the footwear, and he gets the money out of it. Okay, but in India, the major challenge is we still lack skilled manpower, because many of them are lethargic. They don't want to improve themselves. They're stuck in the old data or old form of skills only. They never want to update themselves, so that is a challenge to pull them into the modern era. So that is first point. Next, stress in working culture. The stress is a major part, because we will have families to be taken care of. Many of them will have the old age people. And moreover, if a person works for a long time in one place, or in the same work, they will usually get too tired, and especially if it is a work which involves physical work. Now, if a person is working in manufacturing industry, the two with the machines, he will be very very tired at the end of the day. Now, any work for that matter will have some or the other stress being involved. Many times, what are the major stress causing things are: you will have less job security. You don't know how you will have to how many days you will be surviving in the company, you don't know. Then no flexible shifts. Whatever time they say you should come, you cannot come, or you cannot be flexible with the timings. That is also problem. And unlimited working hours. Many times, these shop floor employees work for 2 to 3 days continuously. They do morning shift, they do general shift, they do night shift, again they do morning, general, night. Like this, they go on working without taking uh, rest. But even though they work so many times, their salaries will be very very low. So all this will affect their mental ability to work efficiently. So stress will increase. So that is also a challenge. Then lack of formal education in retail management. Formal education, nobody is given the information, or nobody is taught that, see, this is how the system is, or this is how we should follow the system. Okay, this is how you have to set your mind to work. All that has to be trained a little more. Okay, now if you see, slowly all colleges have been tied up with lot and lot of institutions where they give out these training. Okay, formal education in training, retail management trainings are provided, which will help them to improve their skills, soft skills, communication skills, their English communication, or any language communication, the subject communication. Everything has to be improved. It is not that easily ignored. It's not that how easily students ignore. There's a lot of importance to all of this. Then workforce attrition. Attrition is leaving the organization and going to other organization. So if in one company, let's take for example, let's talk about Infosys only. Now, if Infosys company, it's just an example, if Infosys company, in 1 year, if the employees, let's say if 20% of employees are leaving Infosys and joining some other company, that living is called attrition. they live they live out the jobs, but who is going to do their work? Now everybody will have their work in the organization. Okay, now in the college only, if one teacher is absent for the day, the other teacher has to make sure that that class is substituted, or that class is taken for. So similarly, the work has to be done. If they are there or not there, the work has to be done. So that is workforce attrition. How are we going to manage with the work percentage that is given to us? That is also a challenging work. Then threat of poaching. What happens in employee poaching is, they will take these poor people. Okay, they'll take these poor people, and they will sell them off to some other country, or all that human trafficking, which is illegal, which is a crime. that happens in many places yet. Okay, so here, so what happens is we actually don't have many skilled people in the country. Every country has this problem. It's not only India or it's not only some other country. Okay, so these skilled manpower, when we improve on skilled manpower, then we will be able to easily get jobs or employment opportunities to many people. So these are few challenges in organized retail, starting with lack of skilled manpower, then a lot of stress in the working culture. There is no proper formal education in the retail management. Many people leave one work and they go to the other work, and especially in retail sector you will have 40% of attrition, which means you can see Domino's Pizza, the part-time workers keeps changing. Okay, you cannot say that person will be there for next month or next week or next day also. Or you have Swiggy. Now Swiggy, anybody who has a two-wheeler and who wants to work part-time can go and work. So again, attrition. They don't want to work in Swiggy, they'll go to Zomato. They don't want Zomato, they'll go to Domino's. They don't want Domino's, again to another company. Like that, they keep shifting. So that is attrition. Then, threat of poaching is in both organized and unorganized retail. Skilled man force is very, very less. So that is very much of a challenge. Okay. Did you understand the previous slide? Any doubt in that? Okay, we'll stop until here and we'll continue tomorrow.